bad. Third one, I'm like, this is delicious. Who's the genie that made this? This is amazing. I was on. It's cool to look back now. I'm like, man, I fought on some really good cards with some complete studs, and we put on an amazing show. I remember you. You beat Max Holloway. You remember this? And I was like, yeah, I remember this. I was the guy that beat him up, you know? Come on, dude, like, hurry up. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. This is 40 feet. If I fuck up, this could be really bad, like, potentially death, or, you know, what do you mean, dude, I fucking busted my ass for you for fucking near a decade. I can't get tickets to, like, New Jersey?
All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Dennis, the Menace Bermudez. Dennis, how we doing, my man?
I'm pretty good, man. Nice summer day here.
That's right. No, it's definitely an awesome summer day, my man. And Dennis, it's been obviously a little bit since we've seen you in the cage. I mean, talk to us a little bit more about kind of what you've been up to nowadays.
Retired.
Yeah.
No, I work. Well, it's not a 9 to 5. It's a 7 to 3:30. But I am a utility lineman.
Very nice.
Over here on Long Island. So pays the bills, pays similar to the level I was in the UFC. You know, after benefits, pension, and all of that, it probably equals out. Definitely a lot less stressful. Way easier.
Well, that's
way
important.
Easier. Yeah. And you know, I just try to stay in shape and work out. And I just bought a house in October with my fiance. And I'm working on starting my own little like one-on-one private lessons / like small group center in my garage. Whether it's like strength training or wrestling, MMA, boxing, whatever. Do it all.
Very nice. Oh, that would definitely be a lot of fun, man. I would definitely be looking forward to that if you start doing that. And, you know, I mean, outside of fighting, I mean, besides like work and whatnot, I mean, what do you typically like to do for fun?
It's a bad habit, but I like drinking a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Me and my lady, I really enjoy like me and my lady. We share a bottle of wine and watch a movie. I'm a father of 2, so I'm constantly on the sidelines watching my boys compete. They do it all: football, lacrosse, wrestling, baseball, ice hockey, roller hockey. It's nonstop. And then I enjoy mountain biking. You know, I haven't had much time to do it as of late. Just this is our first summer in the house, so there's still a lot of lawn care and stuff like that I'm doing, and you know, we're adjusting. I'm trying to find time.
Very nice, very nice. So you're a wine guy, huh?
Listen, I am I am a wine guy, but I'm not like like this has mahogany. This was in a whiskey barrel. Like I'm just like they all taste similar to me, but I like red. I don't want white. I could settle for rosé. But yeah, I like red. They all taste very similar to me. But I like the buzz off of a nice wine, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But I also like beer. I also like mixed drinks. It's like I'm you know.
Okay. So how about IPAs? Are you one of those guys or no?
Yeah, sure. The first one I'm like, a little rough. Second one I'm like, it's not too bad. Third one I'm like, this is delicious. Who's the genie that made this? This is amazing.
Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's definitely some good stuff. So after wins, I mean, what would you kind of do after your big wins? Did you go out and party, or how's that kind of work?
Depends on where I fought.
Okay.
You know, so if you fought in New Jersey, New York, or Vegas are the only 3 spots. I mean, because I never fought in I I never fought like in like Brazil or anything like that. I'm sure they're open up partying and stuff like that. But also those like Brazil, Mexico City, those are like, do you want to go out after midnight? That could be a little sketchy, you know. But like I said, New York City or New York, New Jersey, because from New Jersey you just shoot over to New York and get after it, and Vegas are like the only three spots you can really like go out and party after the fights. Everywhere else, all the bars close at 1:30. You finish the post fight conference at like 1, or let's say you finish the post fight conference at like midnight. You go back, shower, get dressed. The bar closes in a half hour. Like, what are you gonna do? You know. So
Yeah.
so the move is to plan ahead and have maybe a case or two in the hotel room, and then you and your team can have some hopefully celebratory cold ones.
That's
But
right.
yeah.
Yeah, fair enough, man. That definitely makes sense. And with you traveling around all these different places, you mentioned that some of those places might have been a little sketchier than others. I mean, did you ever have like any sketchy instances when you had to travel somewhere for a fight?
Not me, but I know I was fighting in Mexico City. Mark Hunt was the main event against Vanderlei, or no, against Fabricio Verdum. And on 2 occasions, people pulled up to Mark Hunt and were like, "Hey, I'm your Uber, or I'm your taxi. Get in." And he was like, I don't expect getting picked up, mate." You know what I mean? And he told the UFC that, and that was one time a guy just pulled up and said, "Just get in. I'm work for the UFC." That was one instance. The second instance, I think he got picked up at the airport, and some random guy just got in his car with him, and he was like, "Get out." "What do you mean? I'm security." He's like, "No, get the fuck out."
That's insane. No,
Yeah. So the
that's definitely
UFC
pretty.
actually brought all the fighters down. Like, listen, don't get in cars with strangers. Make sure you have somebody with you at all times, and ideally, make sure the person you have with you can speak Spanish.
There you go.
Like, don't go too far from the hotel. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. That's definitely pretty interesting there for sure. And with you, man, in your fighting career, I mean, you were always on some pretty sick cards. I mean, how'd you always manage to get on such stacked cards all the time?
I don't think it wasn't like I was, they just offer you whatever and you say yes or no. Um, but I think right when the UFC's trying to put together a fight card, right, who's exciting, whether you know him or not, who's exciting to watch, right? Because we've all watched one guy like, "Oh, I don't know this guy," and then you watch him fight, you're like, "Holy shit, this guy's a little bit of a dog. This guy's wild," You're like, "I like this guy." So I think whether you knew me or not, after I fought you, you then were like, "I like that guy." I mean, that was the approach. I mean, I also didn't. I never went in to try and like win over fans and stuff like that. I just went in there to try to dominate a guy and make him look stupid. That was always the goal.
Yeah. No.
And I guess the way I went about it was, fun to watch.
Yeah, no, no, you definitely were, man. And back in the days, man, you also beat Max Holloway on like a pretty stacked card. I mean, there was like Wonder Boy, like Khabib, there was all these beasts. Robert Whitaker was on that card. I mean, what was it kind of like to compete on that card and then kind of look at all these fighters and how big they are now?
You know what? It's at the time. I don't, I'm just trucking along. I'm looking to be the champion and stuff like that, So I wasn't like, "Oh my God, I'm with him or him or him." And also I didn't know what they would ever become either. You know what I mean? So everybody that was on, it's cool to look back now, like, man, I fought on some really good cards with some complete studs and we put on an amazing show. But at the time, it was just kind of like we're all equals, just, trying to get a bone, right? But
Yeah.
it's funny when you say that. So I went to. Do you remember when Khabib had those Eagle FCs in Florida?
Oh yes, yes, he
I
did.
went to one, and then Khabib was working the head table. So I went up and like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I remember you. You beat Max Holloway. You remember this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember this. I was the guy that beat him up, But it was really funny that it was cool though. He's like, "You great fighter." It was cool to be recognized by Khabib at such a high caliber, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
that's definitely sick. What was it
yeah.
like to kind of see Eagle FC live?
What's that?
What was it like to see Eagle FC live?
It was cool. They had some good fights on there. One of the ones that like kind of blows my mind, Diego Sanchez fought Kevin Lee
Yeah,
at like 170. So I'm
yeah,
like, Kevin Lee is gonna knock Diego into fucking outer space. Dude, Diego almost beat him.
I know.
I was like, what the fuck? And then when I found out how much they were getting paid, I'm like, I will fight both of them right now.
Oh, I don't blame you. I definitely don't blame you.
Yeah.
So you were at that Kevin Lee Diego Sanchez card?
Yeah. I went to did I? Yeah, I only went to one of them.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, no, that's definitely pretty interesting. I remember watching that fight on TV for sure. And yeah, with you having that Ultimate Fighter shirt on too, man. I mean, was there anything on the Ultimate Fighter that maybe you wish they might have aired that maybe they didn't?
There's one thing. So I beat Steven Bass first, right? So the thing about the Ultimate Fighter is pretty much anything you write down on a list shows up in like 24 hours. I mean, within reason, right? Any food, maybe a few different props. They're not buying you like crazy expensive stuff, you know what I mean? But
Right.
like for example, like Dustin Peg wanted a green wig because he wanted to use it when he fought Gagnot, Lewis Gagnot. So they got that for him, you know. But they've got a ton of liquor and beers. So Steven gets all banged up. He drank like a bottle of wine. He starts getting like a little loopy, and everyone's kind of like, dude, this dude's fired up. And he starts talking like a little bit of shit, like, you know, you guys can't drink with me, da da da. And like, sure, let's do it. So he goes. So the guys go into the kitchen with him, and they're doing like shot for shot. It's like 3-on-1. Like he's just in there, just like, oh, you want, but he's like blacked out, right? Takes a shot. What the other guys were doing, right, is like, let's say this is a bar, they would put their head on the bar and spit out the shot, just like, oh man, like, man, that was So they weren't even taking the shots, and he started getting like, so the the producers were like, guys, stop, we don't want, and then like the producer was like, one of you guys get that bottle from him. So one of the guys had to like kind of like pry the bottle from him, like, dude, you're done. Like, no. And then he spent, I don't know, a few hours puking in the toilet.
Jeez, no, that's definitely insane, man. I mean, have you ever watched the Ultimate Fighter now? Since it's kind of still been going on.
I have, because it's on, what's it on?
ESPN Plus.
Oh, I do have that. But no, I haven't. Is the Contender Series on ESPN Plus?
Yeah, yeah.
I
They
gotta
each
check.
are.
My boy Nick Piccinini fought last night. I gotta double check that. I know he won. I just gotta see how it went.
He's having a rematch.
Okay, is that the? Because he texted me today. He's like, I can't wait to beat that guy's ass again, and I was like, what do you mean again?
Yeah, yeah. So Dana White basically said that he thought the other guy won. So he was just like, since I think the other guy won and you won, why don't you just rematch in like week 10, and then whoever wins, then you can maybe get a contract depending on the performance. So I guess they must have agreed.
Wow. So what week are they in right now?
Week 3. So I guess they got like 7 weeks to prepare now.
Okay, because what he said, he told me he's like, that guy had 3 months. I had 10 days.
Yeah, that too.
So hang on, he's gonna mop the floor with this guy next.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's definitely gonna be interesting. I definitely think it's gonna be a lot different fight, no doubt about it.
Right. Yeah, because they have feels for. I mean, listen, he can now go back to his team because he trains at AKA Cali.
Uh-huh.
So they've got great coaches, great game plans. They'll get him all dialed in.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, I mean, he fought pretty well on 10 days notice. So, I mean, now that he's gonna have like a lot of time to prepare, I mean, he kind of knows what to expect now. I mean, it's definitely gonna be an interesting fight. I think it's gonna be a lot different than what we saw last night, no doubt about it.
That guy's a pretty big 25er though, right? The other guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He definitely is.
Because I saw them next to each other, and I'm like, I'm like the same height as Piccinini, and like I'm a 45er. You know what I mean? He's a 25er, and Piccinini's a freak, dude. I used to lift with him when I was fighting the UFC, and as like a senior in high school wrestling, like fucking, I don't know, what do you wrestle, like 119 or some shit? He'd be lifting like similar weight to me.
That's insane.
And I'm like a fucking, I weighed like 165 grown man, like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Few things. Dude's a fucking freak.
yeah, no, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to this fight, no doubt about it. I mean, when you were in the gym, I mean, what was maybe some of your maxes when it comes to like weightlifting?
You know what? I mean, I was never, my strength phase was always like pretty short, you know?
Okay.
So in general, after I would fight, I would take maybe a week or two to fucking whatever. And maybe in that week or two, I'd come in and lift a little bit, little run, just to maintain. And then when I would get into a fight camp, um, the first phase was like increasing my mobility and shit like that, and with some endurance and a little bit of strength here and there. The second phase was like hard strength, like low reps, heavy weight, and then the third stage was like a high metabolic stage where we did a little more cardio, like hard sprints with moving weight quickly, right?
Right.
Working on my explosive muscles of that, so we're primed up, ready to rock and roll come fight night. But I mean, I don't know, maybe bench. My highest was like 275, and I've always had like weird hips and like a bad head. My back's always been a little jacked up, so I probably did like 315 for squat a little bit, and then my elbows were messed up from fucking fighting, so like I couldn't like do a proper clean. But I do like a lot more front squats than back squats. Um, so my like your generic like, oh dude, how much you bench is like off, because I did a lot of like single leg lifts and a lot of just using like one part of your body to do something versus like a bench. You know what I mean? A bench press is just your chest. Like I did a lot of like complex movements. If that makes sense. Because in your
Yeah.
fight, you never just like, it's like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely makes sense for sure, man. And going back into that Nick fight, I mean, like I said, I mean, obviously the judges had it as a close fight, but you mentioned in an interview a while ago that you thought maybe they should have like 7 judges watching a fight. Do you
Yes.
still maybe agree with that?
Yes, 1000%. You know, I
Yeah.
think there's two ways to look at it, right? So my one buddy thinks that the judges being uneducated is good, right? Because
Yeah.
like let's say, you know, like a random Joe's watching a street fight and just like, oh, that guy won. Like I saw it. I know nothing about fighting, but I know that guy won because he beat that guy up more, right? But the thing is, I feel like there's so much. I think that's like the barbaric like thought process for MMA, where like I think you should they should be taking into consideration like a pass, a takedown, how they did it. If you know the first two were stopped and then he kept driving to get the third, you know what I mean? Like, so I think higher, like better educated judges, and if there's seven, I just think now we're getting a 4-3 split, right? Or you're getting 5-2, which is all right. This guy definitely won, right?
Yeah.
I think just 2-1 is. I just for boxing, yeah, you're just doing this. MMA, there's so many more components to it,
Yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, there should be like a jiu-jitsu judge there, a wrestling judge there, a freaking, you know, like, because in MMA, it's a lot of the commissions are boxing commissions that are showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, no, 100%. So, do you think these guys should be like former fighters or what?
Ideally, yeah, you know,
Okay.
but the only problem with that, right, is the fight community is like pretty well
Yeah.
knit. You know what I mean? Where like you might have some bias, or you know a guy, or you know what I mean. But I'm sure the same thing holds true to boxing, right?
Oh yeah, it has to. I would think.
So that's probably why they're like boxing's corrupt, right? Because he knows the guy or something. He knows the judge, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely could be true. 100%,
But
man.
yeah,
No,
I think 7 judges will be like. I
no,
think
I
that'd
like
be
it.
good.
Yeah, like I
Now you
said,
have to have
I
a
think
lot of
that's
guys
pretty
in
good.
cahoots because 3 judges, you just got just one buddy. Like, yo, dude, just fucking vote with me on this. You know what I mean? Whether they got side bets going or whatever it may be.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I thought that was a pretty unique idea that you said, and I feel like more people should kind of start talking about that because I think that could maybe help. I mean, like I said, I mean, we need to figure out something. I feel
Not
like.
maybe, and definitely would help.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely
You would,
agree,
I
man.
bet you, if they had 7 judges, there would be none of this like, oh, that guy got robbed.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it 100%, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely think that would be pretty solid for sure, man. And another thing you mentioned back in the days is you used to do a little bit of cliff jumping. How'd you get into that?
that's where I live.
Just where you live?
Like everybody. I mean, not everybody, but like, I don't know. There's I lived by the Hunter Mountain. On the way up there, there was a bunch of cliffs and waterfalls and shit like that. Like, a lot of local badasses would jump off it and do gainers and shit. Your boy's
You
not a
get any
pussy.
nerves doing that stuff?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 'cause I remember
Very
the
nice.
first time I did it, I filmed it, and
Oh, okay.
the camera guy was like, "Come on, dude, like hurry up." I'm like, "Dude, shut the fuck up. This is 40 feet. If I fuck up, this could be really bad, like potentially death, or at least like a belly flop where excruciating pain." So I remember being like, "Dude, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna punch you in the face. You fucking piece of shit. You fucking do it."
Yeah, really.
He barely would jump off, let alone do a gainer.
Yeah. Oh, you did a gainer off it too for your first
Fuck
time?
yeah, dude.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
No, I mean,
That's
listen, I've jumped off it in the past. The first
uh-huh.
time I filmed it, I did a gainer. I'm
Okay.
like, listen, either I'm gonna fuck up and I'm gonna get fucked up and then we'll get good content, or I'm gonna hit this shit money and we'll still get good content. So it was like a win-win.
Yeah, that's definitely nuts, man. Like I said, big respect to you for doing that kind of stuff. I heard you mention back in the days you used to have like a YouTube channel and stuff. Do you still have that?
Yeah, Menace Tube. It it went. My fucking podcast partner is fucking vanished. Legit in October. Just my last text with him was October 20th, and then he vanished. I think he actually got killed. I don't know.
Oh,
But just I've sent him texts. I've left voicemails. I've called him. I've called his dad. I've left voicemails with his dad.
that's insane.
Said I'm sorry if you think I'm mad at you. Like, yeah,
That's crazy. No,
fucking wild.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it, man. No doubt about it. And another thing about you, man, is you said you're kind of smooth with the ladies. Do you think it helped being a fighter, or you think that's just all you?
Ask the question again.
So you said you're smooth with the ladies. Do you think it helps being a fighter, or you just think you have?
Yeah, dude. Half the reason why I got into fighting was to pick up chicks.
Nice.
Like I remember after this is gonna sound wild. I felt more invincible on like the local circuit than I did in the UFC.
Why is that?
I think it's because like after you get out of the cage in like the local circuit, like you can, if you wanted to, you could go directly in the crowd and like hang out. And it's way more smaller and like intimate. Whereas the UFC, like you have security walking you out. For anybody to even get to you, it's like they can't. You know what I'm saying? And then even for us to be able to go out into the stadium is kind of like we really wouldn't like you to. And then when you get out of the post conference thing, everyone's already gone. It's a little more, And if a girl goes to a UFC, she's usually there with like her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of girls going to UFC events like, hey, maybe I can find a guy,
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Whereas on the local scene, like, dude, I was fighting in Pennsylvania. There wasn't really much else going on. Whereas, like, yeah, I'll go to the fights tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe the girl already knew of you, kind of, and just, yeah, I'll go watch you fight. You know what I mean? So it's like almost like you could, dude, hey, if you meet a chick at a bar, like, come watch me fight, this weekend. And they don't really know what to think, and you give them fucking a $25 ticket. They come watch you fight, and you beat the shit out of a guy. Now, and the crowd's going fucking nuts. You're like, game over, dude. Lights out.
Yeah, no, definitely sounds like game over, man. So you said you were fighting in Philly?
I did fight in Philly.
Very nice. How'd you like Philly? I'm actually from Philly. That's why I asked.
Okay. Well, no, I fought out of Harrisburg, and a lot more of my fights were in Harrisburg.
Okay.
When I was on the amateur level, like, if anyone asked me to fight, I'd be like, yes, okay. Where, like, I've noticed, like, a lot of, I don't know, new, 4-0 pros and stuff like that, they almost, like, sign with, like, a promotion.
Okay.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, a lot of guys will only fight for LFA, or a lot of guys will only fight for Ring of Combat, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas me, I would fight everywhere, almost every weekend. Like, all right.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. Like I say, you're just a different breed, I guess, for sure, man. And you also mentioned too, you like to race some cars. How'd you get into that?
I mean, listen, we all like to go fast, right?
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
You're not first, you're last. Listen, I don't race cars. I would love to, That's a rich man sport. Any type of racing, all of them, boats, fucking ATV, dirt bikes, cars, NASCAR, they're all for rich men. If you're not rich, you better be fucking awesome. And also a good salesman to try and find someone to fucking front you some money.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, those are all you have to be cool with, like, just throwing $1,000 just fucking.
So you're not cool enough to race cars? I mean, what's going on with that? I thought you had to be awesome, you said.
I am awesome.
That's what I'm getting at. Come on, what's going on?
Well, no, I don't have, like, enough time to practice.
Oh, okay.
Also, I don't have the funds to buy, like, I got 2 kids.
Oh, I hear you there. Okay.
If I didn't have 2 kids, I'd probably still be fucking fighting. What are we talking about here?
Still be fighting if you didn't have the kids?
What's that?
You'd still be fighting if you had the kids, you think? Or you didn't have the kids?
If I didn't have my kids.
Yeah, you didn't, I meant. Yeah.
I probably.
Really? Wow. Okay. How about that?
Yeah, because the whole thing, man, I went on that 4-fight win streak. That really fucking pissed me off. Right? Where I'm like, I'm losing fucking split decisions left and right. Okay.
Right.
The fuck out of here. And then I had a plot. Well, the Aaron Hernandez documentary came out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? With the CTE. I'm like, dude, I definitely have this. I fucking get clobbered in the head on a weekly fucking basis. And it's not like I have long arms. I gotta fucking take some to get some, It's not like I can just fucking pick people out like Sean O'Malley from a distance. I gotta get in there.
Yeah.
Like, maybe my style, and having 2 kids, I just don't want to be at, like, I don't know, Thanksgiving, like, drooling when I'm 70 to my great grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm doing, I just also, like, the UFC, like, if I were to hit them up for tickets, sorry. What do you mean, sorry? Dude, I fucking busted my ass for you for fucking near a decade. I can't get tickets to, like, New Jersey?
Oh, wow.
So in terms of, like, putting my life kind of on the line, right, for a company that won't even give me a couple pairs of tickets.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, after I retired, they took Fight Pass from me.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes. Every fighter gets free Fight Pass, right?
Yeah. Okay.
When you retire, like a month or 2 after I retired, I'm like, went to go use it, because it wasn't like I used it all the time. Went to go watch something. I'm like, we ain't sign in. The fuck is this? Fight Pass is like $6 a month.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even go and show my kids my fights without paying for it.
That's messed up. That's
Is that
horrible.
insane? That's
That
insane,
is
right?
insane. No, that's
So
100%. That's the
now
first I'm
me
hearing
like
it.
retiring, right? You're kind of like, oh, okay,
That's nuts. I didn't even think about that with that kind of stuff.
yeah,
That's incredible, man. That's
right.
definitely nuts. So I guess you have to pay for ESPN Plus too, like you mentioned.
Well, so I do pay for it. The only reason why I pay for it is it's like through. I got the Hulu package,
Ah, I hear you. Yep, yep.
Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus. Like, sure, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Um,
So what would you use Fight Pass for then? Would you watch it to use film on your opponents? Just watch your old fights? I mean,
no, I just had it. They gave it to me, so you know. Yeah, every once in a while I go in there and scout a little bit if I had a fight coming up. But I mean, in all honesty, like, dude, want to see fucking that's me up
yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting, man. I didn't even know about that. That's definitely kind of wild. And man, one thing about me is I'm a Taekwondo instructor myself. I've been teaching for 6 years,
Okay.
and I've been training for 19 years. So I love martial arts, man.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah,
Cool.
so I have a bunch of guys in my gym. And what advice do you give to those guys to keep on coming into the gym and to get better and better every day?
Uh, Setting goals, right? So one for
Okay.
me, off the jump was like, let me just be better than everybody in this room. You know what I mean? And then I kept kind of, and then my goals. And once that happened, I was like, all right, let me do this. And once that happened, like, all right, I just kept setting goals and knocking them down. And like my first goal after when I started MMA wasn't like UFC champion. You know what I mean? I didn't even know I was even good at it. It was like, let me just be able to beat all these guys in this room.
Yeah.
So, and with that, it doesn't time. You got to put in the time.
Yeah. No, you definitely do. No, that's
You know?
definitely super important. I definitely hear you there, man. And kind of a stupid question, but I mean, you earn those cauliflower ears, man. But I mean, when it comes to AirPods, do you have trouble trying to put AirPods in your ears?
Don't use them. Look,
Don't use
I
them.
got these
Yeah,
ones. I
that's what I
have
was gonna
over the
say.
year.
Have you ever tried to put them in? Does it work?
It like if you talk a little bit, it'll like start to like work its way out.
That's nuts. Wow.
I have, and even those ones that like squeegee in, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same thing with that. So you either get those ones, wedge those in there, and wear like a sweatband over them to like keep them in. I just go over the ear.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. I was definitely curious about that as well, too, man. And
Yeah.
Dennis, man, it's been awesome talking to you. You're definitely a legend, man.
Likewise.
And thank you so much for coming on the show, man. What's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
What kind of message?
Whatever you want to say, man. What do you want the fans to know about you? It's been a while since we heard from you.
Know about me?
Anything, man. Anything you want.
Shit. I mean, in terms of being like uh optimistic and like inspirational, I think writing things down is fucking massive. And not only just writing things down, like for example, writing down a goal, right? And then a plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So that makes sense. And then just execute. And then fucking before you know it, boom, goal complete.
Yeah. No, I
Because a
definitely
goal
think that's
without plan is just a dream, my friend.
yeah, no, it definitely is, Dennis. I definitely agree with you. And Dennis, man, it's been awesome talking to you. Like I said, again, man, thank you so much for coming on. It means a lot to me. And we're looking forward to whatever you have in the future. And if you have those private lessons, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with it.
Fuck yeah, crazy cab. Let's do it.
You're the man. All right, Dennis. Thank you so much
Likewise.
for being on. We'll stay in touch and best of luck with everything you got
All
going
right,
on, my
man.
man.
Take care.
Yes, sir. All right, take
Peace.
care.